Maybe. Okay. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry for the delay, but we're all up and ready to go now. Our interview will start here in just a couple of minutes with the final boss, Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. Oh,
I hope everybody's ready. We've been looking so forward to this one. We're excited asking lots and lots of questions. And again, fans, if you guys have any online, we'll ask them for you also. We'll be ready in just a couple minutes. All right, so I know the host is ready to go, so we'll start the show in 30 seconds.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to From the Chair. Like Tony said, with the final boss, Bruce Wayne. Thank you very much again for being on the podcast.
Oh, of course, man. Of course. Thank you.
And as I usually do, I did a lot of research preparing for this podcast. And man, you are one of the most entertaining managers and wrestlers I've seen in a long time.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, definitely. I'm
Like,
trying to be number one.
I'd put you right up there with like D'Lo Brown as far as like charisma goes and stuff.
Oh man, yeah. Let's start off hot then. Shout out to D'Lo Brown. I'm gonna give you a call, D'Lo. I'm headed to Vegas soon, man. Let's get some dinner.
All right. So our first question is, who were your wrestling heroes growing up?
Oh man, we're going right into it. All right. So like my number one wrestling hero is always going to be the best there is, best there was, best there ever will be, Bret the Hitman Hart. Just because the excellence of execution, man, he made me believe what I was watching was the real deal. Because in fact, it was the real deal. And next to Bret is Macho Man and the Big Boss Man, Ray Traylor.
Very good choices.
All right. What was it like working with Bobby Lashley?
Oh man, you know what? Bobby Lashley, if you did your research, you know Bobby Lashley knocked out half of this wisdom tooth my first day of boxing. But it was great. It was great. It was like that was the only like transitional time I had in my life. So I was done playing arena football and I hadn't started wrestling yet. And so had about a 3-year gap there where I was Bobby Lashley's one of his sparring partners at American Top Team. And I used to get beat up a lot, but it was fun. It was a ton of fun. I love me some Bobby Lashley. You know, he's from here. I see him every now and then when he's in town. And I learned a lot. You know, Bobby didn't teach me how to wrestle. Bobby Lashley taught me how to fight. And it's funny because when when you go to learn how to box and kickbox and all the jujitsu, you find out very quickly that you do not know how to fight. And yeah, Bobby Lashley taught me how to fight. So thank you, Bobby Lashley. And I'm ready. I am ready for my rematch now, sir.
I would pay money to see that fight.
Don't worry, I'm going to plug that fight for 90% of this podcast, just so we're all on the same page. Every 5 minutes, ring the bell, and I'm going to call out Bobby Lashley.
And as you should.
Oh yeah,
well actually he's actually on our TV right now. So
I say he probably is on TV. That's how. Okay, my last day at the gym with Bobby Lashley goes like this. Hey fellas, shutting down the gym. I'm going back to TNA. If you see me on WWE, I'm only there to beat up Brock Lesnar. And then he closed the gym. And then the next day he was on TNA. And a week later he beat up Drew McIntyre for the TNA championship. Like, bam, bam, bam.
And he followed what he said about Brock Lesnar too, because they've had some pretty nasty matches lately.
Oh yeah.
Well, he wanted that match, man. And I remember watching him have to kiss Lana and all that other stuff, man. But he made it. He made it. It wasn't easy, but he made it. He finally got his hands on Brock, and I'm sure he had a ball. As luck would have it, I will not be calling out Brock Lesnar on this podcast. I will just be calling out Bobby Lashley because that's the match I want.
Got ya. Okay, so who are two of your biggest rivals in wrestling? How long have you been rivals, and how did the rivalry come about?
All right, well, my original number one rival in wrestling is Killer Curtis Cole. He's a local Rocky Mountain Pro talent. When I first saw Curtis Cole, I hadn't even started wrestling yet, but I saw him on WWE, and this is before I knew anything about, getting plugged for extra work or anything like that. But when I saw Curtis Cole, he had cut a promo on Braun Strowman. It was him. It was what's the other guy's name? It was Curtis. It was Tyler Stinson. And I don't know who the third guy was. And they were all in the ring at Monday Night Raw, cutting a promo on Braun Strowman. And Braun Strowman threw Curtis Cole out of the ring and smacked the back of his head on the post. And Curtis Cole got nice and split down the back of his head. But he's got these huge, stupid, ugly dreadlocks. So I figured he was going to be okay. But he wasn't. He had to get a lot of stitches. And they called an audible in the match. And that's the first time I met him. And then once I started wrestling, he's one of the people that I had to wrestle a lot coming up. Eventually, me and my original tag partner, Porter Blake, we beat him and Matt Mercury Yaden for the tag team championships. And then we gave him like 10 rematches until they got the belts back. And for those 10 rematches, I hate Curtis Cole. Like in my heart. In my ice cold heart, I hate Curtis Cole. So that's number one. And number two is Damon Ace, because the F is silent. I want to punch him in his Damon face. And he's probably at Rocky Mountain Pro training right now with a busted elbow. And I was hoping to go in there and bust it up some more. Not to do anything dirty or underhanded. Just when you don't like somebody, you rough them up on sight. If you know where they're going to be, you go there and you rough them up. So Damon Ace, just know I know where you at. And if I went on this laptop doing the dopest podcast, from the chair podcast, I'd be at Rocky Mountain Pro punching you in your Damon face right now. Sorry, I get turned up when you talk about people I don't like.
No, it's all good.
Besides Bobby Lashley, was there anyone else you trained with?
Oh, I've trained tons of people. But All right, so I already mentioned Mercury Yaden, so he's the owner over at Rocky Mountain Pro. So the next most influential figure is definitely got to be Too Cold Scorpio, and Too Cold is my boy, man. I've known Too Cold Scorpio since I was a kid. He don't remember me when I was a kid, but I remember him. And Too Cold Scorpio, he lives out here, and he came in and he was our trainer for a little while, and I learned a lot under Too Cold Scorpio. I learned that if you don't want to sell, I can help you. I can help you sell. So either play ball or we can do this the hard way. But Too Cold Scorpio was a huge influence on my wrestling career. I was lucky to meet him early on in my career. Shout out to Alex Slack, also known as Austin Reddick. Let me see. Mercury Yaden, Curtis Cole. Who else? Who else did I get my hands on? I did a low key seminar early on in my career, and low key is the business. Like, I love that guy. So let's just leave it at Too Cold Scorpio and low key, because those two have the right mentality. It's very, very simple if you want to be good at wrestling. If you want to be good at this, you work as hard as you possibly can, and you strive to be the best. And if not, then forget you, get out of here. It's that simple.
Quick little story about Too Cold Scorpio. I had a caregiver once that would make T-shirts for wrestlers. He actually made a T-shirt for Too Cold Scorpio.
Oh man, here, I'll give you a quick story about Too Cold Scorpio. Okay, Too Cold Scorpio has a super fine sister that does not look like him. Okay, she looks like light-skinned Halle Berry. Okay, and he doesn't remember this. But I was at a party I shouldn't have been at when I was a kid. I was about 17. And I see him. I know who Too Cold Scorpio is. I'm like, hey, Too Cold, nice to meet you, man. Hey, you see that girl over there? I'm about to go talk to her. And I'm pointing at his sister. I take one step to go talk to the sister, and he grabs me and he goes, hey, man, that's my sister. And I said, oh my God, I am sorry, sir. And he said, oh, okay, go shoot your shot, man. Good luck. And then years later, he ended up being my trainer. So it worked out. Oh, shout out to Airborne Alex Anthony. That's another one of my good influencers in professional wrestling.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the wrestlers you've managed? Did you form a faction? I believe when I did my research, I'd heard you formed a faction, but.
Oh, right. So Final Boss Bruce Wayans does not have a manager. I'm the mouthpiece, I'm the muscle, I'm the main event, the after party, and the pre-show. Okay. I have been offered many manager opportunities, just because of the mouth. However, I can't help but take care of it myself, because, as the headpiece of the faction, I don't think we need a manager to take my place. So the faction you're referring to is called the Black Horsemen. It's a crew of wrestlers. Not everybody's black, however, but it's myself, Atiba, Marlon Bishop, Porter Blake, Zim Damascus. I'm leaving out people. Hold on, let's keep going. The Easy Lover, Joe Barton, Silk Dog, Papa Lipto. Who else in the Black Horsemen? We have a lot of members. Okay, we have a lot of members on our team, and the best part about our faction is we are a fully functional, interchangeable tag team or trios. But I can only speak for my tag teams, and they go like this. Myself and Porter Blake, the Knights of Wrestling, myself and Atiba, Chopper City, myself and Brooklyn Bishop, Washington Bishop, me and Zim Damascus, Quadruple H, hate. And the Easy Lover and the Final Boss, Harlem Knights, Harlem Knight.
I heard two things.
Whoever's got Cody Rhodes on in the background, mute your microphone. Okay, because look, if you guys don't get to know where you're at, I do research. I know where you're at too. I'm not gonna make any threats, Tony. Looking at you, Tony. But hey, Nate and Pat are in the state zone. But that's the short version of the Black Horseman. The city will be in Cheyenne, Wyoming, on the 22nd of April, making our Wyoming debut. And iron sharpens iron, man. All we usually do is end up fighting each other.
All those members, you're getting into like NWO territory on that one.
Hey, man, you know what? Like, here's the thing, okay? The Black Horseman is the baddest faction in wrestling. We don't have a manager. All we have is a final boss, Bruce Wayans. Okay, I'm the headpiece. I'm the mouthpiece. I'm the muscle. I'm the standard. The standard of the Black Horseman is right here. And that's why we have so many members, man. We have so many members because you got to remember, the Black Horseman is worldwide, right? The takeover. This is the Black Horseman takeover of professional wrestling.
Very cool.
I like that.
Did you always know you wanted to be a professional wrestler, or what was the true profession you wanted to become if you were not a wrestler?
That's a perfect question. Yes, the answer is yes. I had dreams of grandeur growing up, and all right, hold on, pause this. Remember, I told you guys this was gonna happen. All right, hold on one sec. I'm pretty sure she's probably outside.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'm doing a podcast right now. Are you here? No, it's okay. I can come help you. Okay. I'll be right back. Hold on.
Yep. And this will be time for our first break, sponsored by the CARE program.
Yes.
So go ahead, Mr. Host.
So it's the CARE program, which stands for Community Action Reaching Everybody. For without her and that program, there would be no podcast. And her support. To look them up, you look up Becky Bernhardt on Facebook.
And our second sponsor, Bruce Nichols Painting.
Yes. Bruce Nichols Painting for all your painting needs, pressure washing, and lead removal. He's taking bids today, and he will travel. So you need your house painted, he's the guy.
And finally, our new sponsor and the new owner of this podcast, Big Money Dodge.
Again, I have not seen paperwork. You have not contacted my attorney, and/or you have not shown me any proof of any kind that there was a sale of this podcast.
So Big Money Dodge, thank you for your sponsorship and the ownership of this now outstanding, wonderful podcast that we have Mr. Bruce Wayne's on.
Well, I can't argue with the last part, but I'm still fighting the sale part because you haven't shown me anything. Don't make me bring up who my attorney is again.
Yeah, Johnny Cochran's crippled uncle or something, or cousin, right?
Yeah, that's why I'm paying him half price.
Yeah. Okay.
And once again, I'm starting to stay neutral on this one.
And just to let you guys know, we have some great shows coming up also. As much as I give Tony a hard time, he's been working his butt off booking people. So
That's right. This little podcast is now booked all the way out into June. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We've got 3 solid months of shows.
And yes, it's booked out to the best month ever because that's my birthday month.
Did you look at their? I didn't look at your brisket.
Oh, I already ate most. I did 2 pieces left.
You been in the brisket already?
Okay, I got background noise.
I'm gonna leave my bag in the room.
Is that yours, Nate?
No, I think that
Because I didn't know
might
if
be
you put the lights on now. I
Bruno.
wouldn't if you were here. I didn't know.
Oh yeah. Okay, that's him. So yes,
Alright.
we've got. Yep.
You get done if you
Yeah.
can't really tell what these staples are.
I'm back.
all right.
All right.
All right.
So let's continue on with the questions. Next question, guys.
All right.
You're fine.
Can you tell us how you became the Four Corners Territory Champion or Quarters?
Oh yeah, I can tell you all about that. All right, so there used to be like a little piece of bone sticking out of my hand because I took an RKO off a ladder in my first and only ladder match. It was at the Battle at Buckley. It was 2 titles hanging from the ceiling, and I want to say Lipto was the champion. Lipto was the 303 champion and the Four Corners champion. He retained the 303 championship, but he lost the Four Corners championship to the final boss, Bruce Wayans. There was a bunch of big names in that match. Marlon Bishop was in that match. Hunter Gray, he's half of the Pillars of Destiny. They've been on AEW a couple of times. Chris Evans, not Captain America. This is Captain Arizona, as I like to call him. He calls himself the King of Arizona. I call him Captain Arizona. Chris Evans, you need to change your name to Captain Arizona, okay, so people don't get you confused with the good-looking guy that, got America's butt. Anyway, Lipto's in that match. Viper's in that match. Red Viper, he's like one of the best luchas to ever come out of Colorado. He just recently got injured. We're all hoping for a speedy recovery for Red Viper. But yeah, man, my first and only ladder match, double ladders. I don't know. How many people was that? 6 people in the match total, all heavy hitters. And I climbed the ladder. I pulled the belt off the ladder. I posed on the top of the ladder like Razor Ramon did back in the day. You know what I'm talking about? And and now that I'm the Four Corners champion, shout out to Razor Ramon, the bad guy. I like to do the Razor's Edge now, but I call mine the Edge of Glory.
Very nice.
Killer name.
Thank you. I put time into that name because the bad guy was definitely one of my influences. Pat, let's add the bad guy to the list. Razor Ramon is definitely a big influence on the final boss, Bruce Wayans.
Do you prefer to perform as a single wrestler, a tag team wrestler, or with your faction? As a manager, do you like managing a singles wrestler or a tag team wrestler or a faction?
All right. Well, I'm not gonna manage anybody until I retire. Number one, I prefer to wrestle. That's my answer. Okay.
Okay.
I prefer to wrestle. That's it. So yeah, I do singles, tag teams, trios. I'll bring the whole squad to the ring if you need me to. Okay. Final Boss Bruce Wayans is worldwide. You understand? I done been everywhere from Colorado to Utah to OVW. I've been to Orlando. I've been to California. I've been to Vegas versus Pro Studios. And that's just in the last 4 years. Okay. I got 5 more to go. So I'm trying to get up to Canada, get down to Old Mexico, not to be confused with New Mexico. And definitely got to make that trip across the pond, go over to London town, go over to Germany, Sprechen Sie Deutsch. And I want to go to Japan, bro. I want to punch a Japanese dude like right away. Like I want to do them like they did Chavo Guerrero. Like I want the bell to ring and I want to smack somebody in the ear and they can be deaf in that ear for the rest of their life. Because I'm not going to make the same mistake Chavo made. When I get to Japan, I'm laying it in. Well, you better believe it, Mama Boss, because that's how the Final Boss rolls. Okay, she said, "I can't believe you want to slap somebody in the ear and make them deaf." That's what happened to Chavo Guerrero.
It did.
That is.
Chavo got kicked in the ear his first match in Japan, and that ain't happening to me. Okay, you hear me, Okada, and whatever this guy's name is. Okay, you hear what I'm saying? Ain't nobody smacking the Final Boss when I get to Japan. I'm doing the smacking when I show up.
And I believe that. And the
Same
guy
here.
you were trying to think of was Naito.
Naito, yes. I love that dude. I couldn't think of his name. I say his name wrong all the time, but I love the gimmick.
Oh, I do too. And you should come down to Washington and wrestle too if you get a chance. We got some great wrestlers down here.
Oh man, you say less, bro. I want to say Balaam Lynx comes up to Washington pretty often, and next time he makes that trip, I'm gonna hop on that plane. Me and Balaam, we passed the airport test. So when you see us walking through the airport, you know that we are some somebodies. And so next time I see Balaam in the airport, I'm just gonna hop on his flight, come up to Washington, beat up some of them suckers. Don't think I don't see that's the Seahawks helmet in your room. Okay, I see the Seahawks helmet, Nate. I'm looking right at it. All right, it's nothing personal. We got Russell out here now. Okay, but you got Noah Fant. Okay, Noah Fant. I've known Noah Fant since he was a freshman. I used to be bigger than Noah Fant when I met him, and now the rest is history, man. You got the best tight end in football. Little does everybody know. So shout out to Noah Fant, Seattle Seahawks. Holla at your boy. Come back to town. Come see me beat up people. I'll come out to Seattle. I'll watch you beat up people. We'll do an exchange. We'll do a beating up people exchange.
Sounds good. Maybe we can film that for the podcast.
Oh man, let's make sure that's happening. That way we'll do like a cameo. We'll do like a Gronkowski or a Kerry Kittles. You know what I mean?
I do
That's
know.
not Kittle's first name. I forget his first name. My bad.
George
Kittle. George Kittle.
So, I've watched a lot of your footage and noticed you use the elbow drop as a finisher, or at least one of your finishers. Was that inspired by the Macho Man, or do you do another finisher? I know you just said you're doing the Razor's Edge, but
Oh yeah. So my official finisher is the Batarang. Okay. Some people refer to it as Black Hole Slam. However, my variation of it is completely different That's why it's called a batarang. All right, but what you're talking about is the only reason I wrestle to begin with. I wrestle for one reason and one reason only, is to drop these bows on these suckers. Okay, so every match, I try to make sure that everybody gets to see the prettiest elbow in professional wrestling. Also, I'm what they call the second rope superstar. So I do a lot of second rope elbows. I got about 4 or 5 of them off the top of my head. And most importantly, as a professional wrestler, you know, there ain't no rules to wrestling, so I get to do whatever I want. And so the first thing I did is I added all of my monikers, you know, AKA the Final Boss Bruce Wayans, AKA Elbow Dropper. That means the elbow dropper. Okay. AKA second rope superstar, AKA the choker.
Ooh.
Yo, you know you like that one.
I
That's
do
my
like
heel,
that one.
my heel persona is the choker, Bruce Wayans. And that's just the name of the game, man. Like once you start choking suckers, you can't go back. You know, it feels good. Feels good on the ice in my chest. Shout out to Greg the Hammer Valentine, who taught me how to drop elbows proper as a child. So did Macho Man. And Bret Hart and Stone Cold used to have a dope second rope elbow, like coming forward. Okay, but now that I'm a professional wrestler, I'll tell you right now, that's one of the moves I don't do because it's terrible on your shoulder. Like it hurts bad. You land on your knees and your shoulder, and your elbow hits first, and it jolts up into your shoulder. It feels awful. And if you do enough research and you check out the last Rocky Mountain Pro pay-per-view, you'll actually see the Final Boss on the top rope for the first time and only time ever. And I won't be going up there again. It did not work out. It was pretty bad. Never Broken was the name of the pay-per-view. It's on Fight TV. You can get that. It's like $11 or whatever. No big deal. But if you ever want to see the Final Boss on the top rope, that's the only time you're ever going to see it. Because the only other time I've been on the top rope, I did it once for Royce Isaacs. Because Royce Isaacs, you the man, you know that. I just seen him this weekend at New Era. And he got hosed on the New Era Championship, so I believe he's coming back next month. But yeah, Final Boss don't get on the second rope. Don't leave second rope. Okay, top rope is not for me. It's too much boss. Too much boss for the top rope.
My favorite snack is cookies. What is your favorite cookie or snack, and what would it be and why?
Oh, that's easy. Little Debbie brownies right away. Okay, we can go straight to it. Okay, Little Debbie brownies are my addiction. Okay, don't give me no Twinkies. Okay, if it's a cookie, it's got to be a Keebler's Chips Ahoy, or no, a Keebler's soft batch cookie. Okay, no, not microwave. I want it fresh out the bag. I want to eat the whole roll. Okay? Pat, why you had to bring up cookies, man? I haven't eaten cookies in months. Okay, I'm slimming down. I'm getting big at the same time. So no cookies, no brownies. But man, I know a gas station that sells Little Debbie brownies. And just to clarify, not cosmic brownies, not the stupid cosmic brownies with the little candies in them. That's dumb. Why did you put candy in a fudge and chocolate brownie? It doesn't make sense. It needs peanuts. It needs peanuts. It needs protein to balance out the fudge and the chocolate. You know, but yeah, hands down, that's an easy thing. Look, Mama Boss is over there laughing right now. You know, if there's a box of Little Debbie brownies in this house, I'd be sitting right here. I'd be holding like this slam buddy, and I'd be picking on these things like carrots. Okay? Little Debbie, let the Final Boss Bruce Wayans slam buddies. Little Debbie brownies sponsor the Final Boss Bruce Wayans. Okay, if you want this on your team, you send them brownies to the final boss's house. All right. It's 6969 Boss Drive, Denver, Colorado. Send the brownies over here, and I'll send you a Slam Buddy. It's a fair deal. Take it. It's a fair exchange.
I'm sorry, that'd be funny right now if Mama Boss just reached over with a box of brownies and went there.
Oh man. Don't worry, there are no brownies in this house. Thank goodness. Yeah, all I have is apples and oranges and pineapples. Because man, if there were brownies in this house, boy, let me tell you. Like sometimes I like to smash them. You know, I like to smash the fudge into the chocolate. Okay,
Yes.
make it one smooth thing, you know, and then peel it and peel the plastic off.
See, the man knows how to make a brownie.
That's right. Yes, sir. Thank you. Nick.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Why do you have to do me like that, man? There's like a whole there's like a couple of Rolos over here, and I don't eat these. Okay, this is just temptation. And you leave them out. You look at them and you say, you know, like, do hot girls eat Rolos? Like, no, hot girls don't eat Rolos, so I'm not gonna eat these right now. But man, let me tell you, okay. Pat, why you gotta do me like that, bro? I'm dying for snacks, man. Okay, getting in shape ain't no joke, bro. Like when you, because that's the thing, man. It's like as a professional wrestler, I talk that spicy, right? I perform in the ring, but most importantly, you gotta look the part, you know. And I look good. Don't get me wrong, okay? But I'm trying to look even better, right? Because my worldwide takeover is happening. You guys came in at the right time, right? You're talking to the current 2022 Wrestler of the Year in Colorado. So moving on to next year, moving on to 2023, I'm trying to take over the world, baby.
And I can see that happening.
Same here.
Oh yeah, it is inevitable, gentlemen. Inevitable.
Okay, so what is it like to work with the one and only D'Lo Brown, and what has he taught you about the business?
Oh man, so it is fantastic working for D'Lo Brown. All right, I like to pick D'Lo up from the airport and take him to his hotel after the show if I can. And you know, just in short car rides with D'Lo, he gives you all the knowledge, man. Wrestling wise, he's given me some of the best ideas, you know, just outside the box thinking. I remember one time he told me, he said you don't have to get up to win. I said, keep talking, because my fighting style is simple. Okay, it's Will Smith, Men in Black 2. Okay, that's how I fight. It might look like I'm getting beat up. I'm not. That's just how I fight. Because I fight to win. Okay? Mm-hmm. History is written by the winners. And the final boss, Bruce Wayans, is a winner. See that? That's a W for winning. Right? D'Lo Brown taught me that winning is my business. And business is good. Also, what is it? Like for any professional wrestlers out there, okay? If you haven't met D'Lo Brown, you got to meet D'Lo Brown. If you're having problems with your promos, you got to talk to D'Lo Brown. If you need help in the ring, you got to talk to D'Lo Brown, baby, okay? D'Lo knows his stuff, okay? You guys are young enough to know that D'Lo Brown was in a 1-800-COLLECT commercial with Stone Cold. And Stone Cold throws his body 8 rows deep into the crowd, man. The last person that happened to was Rocky. Thunder Lips did that to Rocky. And then 10 years later, Stone Cold did it to D'Lo. So now here we are 10 more years later. And I just need to find me a sucker that I could toss into the 6th row for, I don't know, like a Match.com commercial. I don't know, somebody needs to sponsor from Boss Daddy, okay? And somebody needs to get thrown into the 6th row. Who's it gonna be?
Alrighty, we know that The Rock is one of your biggest influence as a professional wrestler. Was there anybody else that you modeled your character around?
Oh, great question. Let's start at the top. All right. Number one influence for the final boss, Bruce Wayne, is wait, you guys don't know this, okay? But when I make my WWE run, I'm just gonna change it to the final boss man. Because, like I said, the Big Boss Man was a big influence on my wrestling career. Mama Boss is a hardcore Big Boss Man fan, as I was growing up as well. Number two, Zeus. You know who Zeus is?
Ooh.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know who Zeus is? Okay.
Tiny Lister.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Tiny Zeus Lister. Okay, Zeus. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. No Holds Barred Zeus was one of the most dangerous wrestlers I ever saw, man. He beat up Stan Hansen in that movie. Go back and watch it. He beat up Stan Hansen in that movie. It was fantastic, okay? Next guy, office linebacker, Terrible Terry Tate, Triple T, okay? That man, he used to be on the pain train, okay? He used to give out the pain train. Next after that is the Godfather, of course. Okay? Just like the Godfather, I used to have that job back in the day. I'm not gonna say what that job is, but you guys know, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, head nods. All right, good. We're all on the same page. All right, I used to have a job back when the Godfather had that job. It's a really good job. It's a really good job. And the perks are amazing when you work in that line of work. Okay. Who else influences the final boss? Just my in-ring. Think about in-ring style. Booker T. I met Booker in Vegas at FSW. He's a big-time influence in my wrestling because just how fluid he was in the ring. And actually, when we met him, you know, it was great. It was great getting the knowledge firsthand, you know, from the source. And if you ever see me doing the Harlem sidekick, it's the Gotham sidekick. Okay, it's Gotham sidekick because I'm not retired. Okay, my sidekick is official right now. Also, I do a Gotham leg sweep, not to be confused with a Russian leg sweep, because I'm not from Russia and I ain't Russian. You know what I'm saying? And who else? Who else do I steal moves from? Let me think. Mr. Fuji. Okay. I got a couple of good moves out of Mr. Fuji. Also, Classy Fetty Blassie, when he used to wrestle, man was a savage. Okay? The man was a savage, right? And I'm going that far back because I want you guys to understand something. Like, as a professional wrestler, man, I study this game, okay? I treat this the way I treat playing professional football. And I know every position. I know what coverage the defense is in. I know every style of wrestling. I know as far back as you want to go up till today. You know what I mean? And I take something from everybody and I make it my own to the point where, you know, elbow dropper, the final boss Bruce Wayans. Like, you guys know, I drop bows on them, okay? And the reason I do that is because, man, you can watch wrestling today, and you can watch wrestling all the way back to 1919, okay? Or as I like to say, I learned to drop elbows way back in 1997. I remember like it was yesterday. The Macho Man dropped 13 elbows on the Ultimate Warrior. It was the greatest day of my life until Macho lost. It was terrible. It was terrible, but man, those were good elbow drops.
I'm gonna throw somebody else that you remind me of when I watched you was the Reverend Slick.
The Reverend Slick, yeah, hey, you know, that's a part of the mouthpiece, okay? The Reverend Slick was ahead of the game, right? So he was a little too skinny to be in the ring bumping, but man, that boy's mouth was on fire, and that's another piece of what you're talking about exactly. So I got my mic skills from the Reverend Slick, from the Reverend Brother Love, from what do you call it? From the $1 Million Man, from The Rock. Who else? Who else gave me some of that good spicy? You know what? You know who cut one of the best promos I ever seen? Brock Lesnar. And I know that sounds crazy. I know everybody thinks about Paul Heyman, but Brock Lesnar said something I like to repeat right now. Okay, if it's one thing I hate, it's people. In promo, that was it. Mic drop. All right, and you know, and let the record show that Roman Reigns and the Usos and the Bloodline are killer on the mic right now. They are completely unstoppable on the mic. So just so we're all on the same page, the Final Boss is trying to match that energy, same energy. You know, when I get there, I want to make sure. I hope most of them are still there, so I can beat them up too.
Now, you were mentioning Freddie Blassie and Mr. Fuji. A couple of my fondest memories of watching them is when Freddie Blassie would call certain wrestlers pencil neck geeks.
Oh yeah, pencil neck geeks, baby.
Yeah,
yeah.
I love how he said it.
Yeah, man. Well, you know, things were different back then. You know.
Oh, I know.
And you know, along that same line, man. I remember Ernie Ladd. Ernie Ladd used to cut promos on Chief Jay Strongbow, and he'd call him a drunkard and a yellow-bellied Injun. You can't say that stuff now.
No.
Oh no.
But man, that was on primetime TV, man. That was on CBS, bro.
And then my fondest memory of Mr. Fuji is when he always got involved with that cane.
Yeah. So that was old Mr. Fuji, right? But I'm talking young Mr. Fuji. Mr. Fuji used to wrestle. Okay?
Oh, I know.
Oh yeah.
His tag partner was Mr. Sato, I believe.
There you go. And so he used to finish people with this diving headbutt, but it wasn't off the ropes. It was a running, diving, backwards headbutt, and it's one of my favorite moves. I just got to practice it more because I keep headbutting people, you know, below the belt. You know what I mean? Right below the breadbasket. I feel bad for my opponents. Sorry, Curtis Cole. Nobody likes you. But hey, every time I wrestle Curtis Cole, I got to hit him with that Mr. Fuji headbutt, baby.
There's another person that you remind me of when it comes to mouthpiece, and that's Bobby the Brain Heenan.
Oh, man. Hey, can I quote Bobby Heenan right now?
Go for it.
They say, Bobby the Brain, how did you get rich? He said, oh, man, that's simple. Betting on professional wrestling. Yeah, man, Bobby the Brain showed no mercy on the microphone. Okay, Bobby the Brain Heenan was one of the greatest mic heels of all time. And he used to wrestle, and he could go, man. Bobby the Brain Heenan could go. And he was, what I used to love about him, if you do like a film study on Bobby the Brain, ask him what is his finisher. Well, you know, can't. But what's his finisher? He don't have a finisher, okay? He cheats. That's his finisher, right? Shout out to Lord Mitchell Taylor out on the East Coast. Lord Mitchell Taylor, he's another one of those old school cats. Him and Derek Stone and Niles Plonquet. Those guys, they are so old school that they wrestle right now. But ask them what their finisher is, and they're like, shoot, I don't know, the brass knucks, dirty roll-up, chair shot, foot on the ropes. Like they legit don't have a finisher because they're heels, man. They don't need one. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, all right? Look that up. It's the first thing I learned when I went to college out in Nebraska. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Yep. So this next question was partly mine and partly Tony's because I'm going to give you credit for this one.
If it's a bad question, I did not read the questions.
It's not a bad question. There are no bad questions. While doing research, we found you used the fireball. Did you yell I'm a wizard like Chris Jericho did?
No. I was involved in a fireball match, however. Yes, I was a part of we call it the Anaya Fire. All right. Anaya and Hoodie, the Howlets, they're out in Kansas City. They wrestle at CSW. Myself and Severino Corrente, we set Anaya's face on fire to beat him for the Charge Championship match, for the Charge Championship, for when Corrente won it. I ended up winning it later on. But yes, I was involved in a fire match. No, I did not use any witty one-liners when the fire got lit. But I did coin the phrase the Anaya Fire, and it shows up every now and then on my Google memories, because that is one of my earliest and fondest memories of becoming a professional wrestler. I want to say I was about 6 months into the business when the Anaya Fire got started, and we set his face on fire. Shortly after that, I won my first championship, the tag team championship, as a part of the Triumphant, my first faction, and it's been nothing but wins ever since, Daddy. You know, I think there's a thing in professional wrestling. If you set somebody on fire, you go on a winning streak. That's textbook. That's just how it goes. Like, you spark them up, and yeah. Once you start the fire, you know, that's it. The flames just blaze.
And for those who haven't seen that match, I would highly recommend going back and watching it. It was a wonderful match from start to finish. So.
It is a fantastic match between Severino Corrente and Anaya. But hey, the X Factor was at ringside, baby. Final Boss is at ringside, and I gets involved. Okay, because I don't just stand around. All right, I don't just walk it. I talk it. I run it. And I got in there, and I took Anaya, and I spun his body around, and I slammed him on the ground, proper. And then Corrente set his face on fire. It was a bad day. It was a bad day at the office for Anaya, but that's what you get. That's what you get when you mess with the Final Boss, Bruce Wayans. Lessons need to be learned out here. Don't mess with me.
And let me tell you, the Bangarang, you know, your version of the Black Hole Slam.
Oh yeah, the Batarang. Yeah,
that's what you spun him around with, and yours is vicious, man. You get that guy moving on those things.
Oh man, I like depending on the size of the person, man. I'll get as many rotations in as possible. Like, I'd like it if you were dizzy by the time you hit the ground. That way, I ain't gotta worry about you trying to squirm out of there. Just take your 3 count like a man, right? It should look like this, okay? It should look like that. See that? That's a Batarang. That right there is a Batarang, okay? Like Black Hole Slam, you go around and then you go down. Batarang, it look like this, okay? Right there it is. There it is. I almost broke my laptop. All right. Look, something's happening. I don't know what button I just hit. Are we still good? I think we're good.
We're still good.
We're good. We're good.
During your time in wrestling school, who gave you best advice professionally and personally, and what was the advice they gave you?
The best advice professionally, personally. Dak Draper, a.k.a. Sammy Six Guns, and Royce Isaacs. They both told me the same thing. They said, look, man, you need, and Anaya, and I don't want to leave Anaya out, and Anaya as well. Sorry I set your face on fire, man. It'd be like that, Anyway, they all said the same thing because the 3 of them, they all came up together under Mercury Yaden, and the lesson is pretty simple, man. To be the best, you gotta beat the best. So you gotta wrestle everybody. You just gotta get your hands on there. You gotta get in the ring. Myself, Atiba, and Lipto, man, we used to do 2-a-days. We would do, sometimes we do 3-a-days, and we'd go at 9 o'clock in the morning, then we come back at noon, then we go back at 6. And man, we put the work in to make sure that we were going to be good enough to be on TV right away. And once we were good enough, that's when Dak and Royce and Anaya came in, and they just told us, hey man, look.
Okay, we lost your audio.
Yep. Okay, we're good.
While he's fixing his audio, Nathan, why don't you run through our sponsors again?
We'd like to thank the CARE program, which stands for Community Action Reaching Everybody. Bruce Nichols Painting for all your painting needs, pressure washing and lead removal. And also Tiffany Dickinson, the local author down here. And then Tony, since you do the last one so well, why don't you take that one?
Big Money Dodge. Again, he's the new owner of this podcast. If you're looking for a manager and you're in the California area, look up Big Money Dodge. Who also says, hey, Nathan, nice forehead, but we'd like to see more of your face.
I'm working on that. That's my technical difficulty. But again, you say he owns this podcast. I've seen no money. I've seen no papers.
All right.
There we go.
There we go.
Yeah, I did it.
There we go. Yeah.
Back in the game, son. All right, I'm way sidetracked. What was I talking about? Talking about beating up people, no doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah, something about Dak Draper, aka Sammy Six Guns, right? If you want to get good at wrestling, you gotta beat up people better than you. So all we did for our first 2 years of wrestling was pretty much get beat up by people that were better than us. But it taught us, it taught us how to work. It taught us how to sell. It taught us to work rate. It taught us how to do less and be more, and those years were well spent, because what we did was we learned our own individual styles, and we learned how to be great. We wrestle great people to learn how to be great, right? I can't even shout out that many people because it's a lot. It's a lot of people to shout out, but shoot, man, Chandler Hopkins. Let me see. What's the boy name? We just talking about him. Jackson Stone. Who else came to town? Sim Bodie, Al Snow, Stevie Richards. Stevie Richards, my dog. Get well soon, Stevie Richards. We did all the seminars we could get our hands on. Like I said, Robbie E., Low Key, Scott Demora has a great seminar. Hey, any professional wrestler, you go to Scott Demora's seminar. His seminar is fantastic. Conan, shout out to my boy Conan. Conan saw my third wrestling match ever in Vegas. I flew to Vegas. I did a seminar and I did a match for Conan. It was legit my third match ever. And he said it wasn't bad. Wasn't bad for my third match. He said, get some better gear. You look like crap. And shoot, man, it's a really long list, man. But the point is simple, bro. You get out there, and there's a lot of people that that say they are professional.
Oh, I think we lost.
It's okay. We work with technical difficulties all the time. I once shut a podcast off mid-podcast, so. Welcome to our one viewer this evening.
Yes, very much so.
There it is.
There
Bro,
we go.
What happened, bro? It's like I dropped the Slam Buddy on the laptop and the whole thing is going haywire now. Let's hope it stays normal for 15 more minutes or whatever.
So to our one viewer, we are interviewing Mr. Bruce Waynes of Colorado Rocky Mountain Pro Wrestling. Sorry.
That's right. Rocky Mountain Pro 2022 Wrestler of the Year, Final Boss, Bruce Wayans. Okay, you have to make sure you say that right. It's Bruce Wayans, not to be confused with the sucker from Chicago. Okay, here's the deal. Okay, there's a guy that wears tights and runs around Chicago and beats up people, and he's a vigilante, right? But he's got a bat car, he's got a bat boat, he's got a bat everything because he's a billionaire, right? Final Boss Bruce Wayans is on his way to being a billionaire, but it has nothing to do with Batman. I have a bat, man.
I like the way you put that.
Thank you. Because it's the only thing he ain't got. Okay, he don't have a bat. Look it up. Okay, he's got it all, but he ain't got a bat. Final Boss has a bat. Okay, I just got 2 new bats from Japan. They in that closet right there. See right there? They in that closet right there. Or not from Japan. They're from China. They're from the Fushan district of China, but they're bats.
Wow. What can you tell us about the Rocky Mountain Kids Training School?
Oh, okay. It's the official name is the Al Snow Wrestling Academy, and I can tell you this: the way I found the school was there's a young man named Dozer used to wrestle at Rocky Mountain Pro. You know him as Otis from Heavy Machinery and from the Alpha Academy right now, who's just in WrestleMania. Otis was sent to Rocky Mountain Pro to be trained by Mercury Yaden. So come to Al Snow Wrestling Academy, Rocky Mountain. Get trained by the Final Boss and Mercury Yaden and a bunch of other suckers, and you too might have a chance to get beat up by the Final Boss, okay? I'm going to the WWE next, not you. But you can come here and you can learn how to wrestle. And if you're good enough, you might surpass me. But it's like this. This was the place that they sent him here to get polished, to learn, okay? My trainer, Mercury Yaden, he's a direct descendant of Al Snow, right? And so me and Atiba and Lilith Grimm and Jumbo Zamori, we did OVW television for about a year straight. We used to go out to Louisville and beat up them suckers, man. Them Louisville suckers, as I like to call them. And learning from Al Snow, learning from Mercury Yaden, it's like it goes hand in hand, man, because these guys, they are polished. Like they know this business like the back of their hand, like from footwork to technical to shoot wrestling, like they know it all. And so this, like, Colorado is the place you want to come. If you want to be a professional wrestler, you need to come out here and we'll teach you how to be the best, but you're going to get beat up. You're going to get beat up by the Final Boss now. Hey, that's an option. That's your number one option. You want to come out here, I'll teach you. I'll learn you. I'll learn you real good.
So, hey, Nathan, it's really awesome that we actually have him on here because, a little follow story to the Otis thing. Our very first interview on this podcast was Levi Cooper, Tucker Knight,
Oh
of heavy
yeah,
machinery.
Big Tuck. Yeah. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
never met him, man, but I hear he's good people, bro. I'm at to go back on here and watch a couple more. I watched man, who's the last person you guys had on here?
Deontay.
Yeah,
Ford.
man, that looked like
Yeah.
fun, bro. I never met him either, but I'm gonna do a little film study on him now. Now that I saw that I watch because I do a little research myself, and so I went and checked out the From the Chair podcast. I just went and watched the last episode. You guys are pretty good at this. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah. Go check out the one with Vertigo Rivera too. He is the son-in-law of the Wild Samoan Alpha.
Oh, sweet! I will definitely go check that out. Yeah. Well, who did I just meet? I just met Juventud Guerrera last weekend at a lucha show, and Juvi looks amazing, baby. Juvi and he's the bit. Like, let me tell you. So I tried to take a picture with him. Ended up being a video. So in about a week, I'm gonna post a promo with me and Juvi because as soon as I saw it was a video, I just turned it into a promo right away. So I got a little 30-second promo with Juventud Guerrera last time a couple weeks ago, and man, Juvi looks amazing. Okay, he looks exactly like WCW. It's crazy, like the boy don't age. He looks like a Mexicool.
Cool.
All right. If you had a dream match, what would it be? Who would be involved? And why? And who would you put over in that match?
Oh, that's easy. My dream match is Bobby Lashley. Okay, 1-on-1 with Bobby Lashley. With let me see. I feel like I should have Tara, aka Victoria, in my corner, and Bobby Lashley should have Lana and Rusev in his corner. and I would put Bobby Lashley over, okay, because all I would like for the finish is very simple, okay, is for me, Final Boss Bruce Wayans, to exit the ring, right, and try to, recreate the wedding scene with Bobby Lashley and Lana, right, but with the Final Boss and Lana, right. Then here comes Rusev. What's the other name he go by?
Miro.
Miro. Here come Miro with the biggest super kick ever, right? Boom! I eat the super kick. I roll into the ring. I get put up into the Hurt Locker, and that's it, right? But here's the thing: is I'll do that. I'll do that for some mouth time with Lana. Right, and that's not saying that I don't want to make out with my manager, Tara. Okay, but I just met her friend, last time I was out in Vegas, so I don't want to mess that up. But hey, look, if Bobby gets to make out with her on TV, then I need to get to make out with her on TV. There. And I'll take a super kick. I'll take a super kick if that's what it takes. And you know why? It gets personal. Okay, Miro, it's personal. All right. You put out Final Boss shirts once. I seen them. They didn't sell because they're too busy buying mine. But you put them out. I remember. I saw that. And now I said what I said. Okay. You, me, Bobby Lashley, and Lana. Let's go. I'm gonna get in trouble, man. These people are gonna see this and come after me, man. But that's all right. You bring it, right? Don't sing it, bring it, okay? Because I don't have to get ready. I stay ready.
What's your best match of your career so far? Who was it against? Why was it your best? And why was it your best match?
Best match of my career would have to be triple threat. Bruce Wayans versus Atiba versus Lipto for the Charge Championship in Atiba's hometown of Lafayette, Colorado. I won the Charge Championship, and then immediately fell over the second rope like Matt Hardy after the match. But the match itself was just a banger, man. Like, I want to say I just had nonstop great matches ever since, because that match really put me over the top where I felt like I was in the zone, and I'm still in it. I'm still in that same zone right now, and I don't plan on stopping until I quit. So there's more to come.
All right. Tell us about your time in the arena football and what position did you play?
Oh man, okay. So it goes like this. After college, my head coach Daryl Morris, also he's a what's the NWA champ's name right now? What's the Funkasaurus? Come on, man.
Tyrus.
Tyrus. It's Tyrus's coach too. We got the same college coach, Daryl Morris, UNK, University of Nebraska at Kearney. Anyway, Coach Morris told me, he was like, man, hey, you ain't going to the NFL. I said, who you talking to? Okay. And he was right, but I got cut from a lot of NFL teams, and I ended up going to Charleston, South Carolina, playing for the Sand Sharks. Then I went to Omaha, Nebraska. I played for the Omaha Beef. Then I went to Laredo, Texas, played for Laredo Lobos. Corpus Christi, Texas, Corpus Christi Sharks. Las Vegas Destroyers for almost a year, but the AFL Arena 1 got shut down that year, and they just didn't play that season. So I ended up going back to Omaha, and finally I came out to Colorado. I played for the Colorado Crush, or no, the Colorado Ice. Now they're called the Colorado Crush. And that's it used to be John Elway's team. But I used to play center, and now fresh out of college, I played center. And then when I moved to Texas, just 1 year in Texas, I went from 285 to 245, and I was still playing center. And my coach, his name was Mike Trigg. I used to coach the Philadelphia Soul. He coached me down in Corpus. He called me in his office. He said, "Hey, man," and I was like, "What is it, coach? I'm not cut, am I?" He said, "No." He said, "I'm moving you to fullback because I need you to pick on somebody your own size." Because I was fighting 300-pound nose guards every week, but man, I couldn't keep no weight on living out in Texas, bro. It was hot, and so thank you, Coach Trigg, because him moving me to fullback actually got me my few NFL looks that I did get. If you're looking for me, get a PlayStation 2, Arena Football 2, play with the Corpus Christi Sharks, number 44, fullback, final boss Bruce Wayans. I'm on there.
That's funny. I played that game, and I knew your name from somewhere other than wrestling, and now it makes sense.
Yeah, I'm totally on that game for sure. Because you don't feel like you feel like you made it when you make it on the video game. Okay, that feels good. Okay, that warmed my chest a little bit. That's the only other time I can remember that my chest felt warm on the inside. Usually it's ice cold.
Okay, we've all seen pretty nasty breaks like Dante Martin's ankle that just got broke at Supercard of Honor. What is your worst injury that you've had in your career?
Worst injury. I don't do injuries, brother. We don't. First of all, we don't talk about those things. Okay. Worst injury I ever saw was Psycho Sid, number one. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's the worst one I ever saw. But see, look, after I saw that, when I was in playing football in Kearney, I saw that happen live on the field. Our captain, name was Mike. I can't think of his last name, but yeah, Mike. His ankle looked like that. It was crazy. But like I said, man, we don't talk about those things because final boss don't get hurt. Bottom line, I mean, don't get injured. Right? I'm hurt right now. I'm hurt all the time. Okay, you're talking hurt. A hurt is I chipped this tooth. Bobby Lashley knocked out that tooth. My shoulder's messed up. Both elbows are messed up. My right knee, my right ankle, my left hip. I'm beat up all over the place. But guess what? Come Thursday night, Thursday Night Ignition live on Rocky Mountain Pro on YouTube. I'm gonna be beating up suckers anyway, because one of them gonna be hurt. Don't worry about mine. I'm fine. Worry about them. They the ones that got this pain coming. It's like this, man. I don't get headaches. I give them.
Fair point.
Love that one too. I love that one too. So let's follow up on that. What was your thoughts about the Dante Martin?
Haven't seen it. Haven't seen it. Can't help you. I don't know. Like I said, bro, we don't do that. We don't put that juju out there. Hey, Dante, get well soon, brother. Ibuprofen, ice, and elevate. That's all I can say. That's all I got.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we don't even go down that road around here.
If you could book one match as a promoter, who would be the wrestlers involved, and what would the match be? Where would it be, and what would the outcome be?
Okay. Now, first of all, I am talent. Okay, I have no interest in promoting whatsoever. Let the record show that I am talent only. Okay, and then when I'm done being talent, I will manage and I will ring announce and I will be on commentary because my commentary is fire. However, I am strictly talent. Yeah, I don't do no booking. Having said that, I would book the greatest Battle Bowl you've ever seen, okay? And that would consist of the entire roster of Black Horsemen. I left out Big Phil Dog, Dorian Richard, put him on the list, okay? And what I do is I would have all the Horsemen tag teams in there fighting each other. And then against us would be every great independent talent in the country right now. And matter of fact, in the world, right? So I throw in Ninja Mac. I throw in Jack Cartwheel. I throw in Chris Bay. I throw in Stan, Big Stan Victor out in Vegas. I get, oh man, so many people. I get Too Cold Scorpio and Airborne Alex Anthony, the Black Necks, as they call themselves. That's a real name. It's a real tag team name. You can look that up. Who else? Who else do I want? I want Hammerstone. I want Hammerstone. I want, let me see. I want Jericho. I want Jericho on there. I want Jericho and I want Jack Hager on there. Who else? Who else? I want Otis. And let's see. I need a wild card. I need somebody crazy. Oh man, I got it. Rocky Mountain Pro talent. I want Abaddon in there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, I want the Living Dead girl in there. Yeah. And Double H. Heidi Howitzer. Those are two girls. Now make it three girls. I want Lilith Grimm in there too. And I'll make it four girls. I want Lola the Adventurer in there. And that'll be it. Oh, and Brett Buff Shea out in Utah. I'm going to go all day, bro, because it's Battle Bowl. So, like, we're just going to put all the names in the hat. You come out as a tag team. Everybody comes in, elimination only. And then after whatever tag team wins, they got to face each other. And then whatever whoever wins that match, that person gets to face the final boss, Bruce Wayans. And I'll be sitting at the top of my throne with my Four Corners Championship, watching these suckers beat up each other. And I'm going to go down there and pick the pieces up and hit them with a batarang.
You can't tell it because you can't really see my mouth, but I smiled when you said the Battle Bowl because I always liked that concept also in like WCW.
Man, me and Lipto, we have a match like that at Rocky Mountain Pro. It's called Peak of the Pack. And me and Lipto wrestled for an hour. Okay, we wrestled for, I don't know, 35 minutes, maybe 45 minutes as a tag team. Then we won. Then we wrestled each other for another 25, 30 minutes. And it was crazy, bro. But, you know, the best thing about it is I found out that, number one, I can go an hour if I want to. And number two, I don't do rest holds. You wrestle me for an hour, it's an hour of beat down. Like, you better put me in a rest hold if you tired, because I'm not doing it. I'm dishing it out the whole time.
When you're not wrestling, what do you do in your free time to relax?
Oh man, I do the executive workout. All right. You go to Vasa Fitness. The V is silent, aka Asa Fitness. You go there. First you get in the shower. That's the warm up. Right. Then you go to the steam room. You stretch. Do about 50 to 100 squats. Get your legs, get the blood pumping in your legs. Right. Then you go to the hot tub to cool off. Okay. Then you go to the sauna to dry off. Feel me? Take a shower, go home. Executive workout.
I kind of like that workout. That's a
Oh,
workout I can
it's
get
doable.
behind.
It's doable.
Same here.
It's doable. Like, don't knock it till you try it.
In your personal opinion, can you name your top 5 tag teams from 5 to 1? Who would they be and why?
All right. Top 5 tag teams. Number 5. Oh man, that's a loaded question, Pat. Hey, all right. Number 5, gotta be Power and Glory. Hercules and Paul Roma, baddest finisher in wrestling. Okay, the superplex into the splash. All right, number 4, the Usos. Definitely the Usos. Number 3, it's such a tough, it's such a double-edged sword. Number 3, I gotta go with man. Can I say Demolition and the Legion of Doom in number 3? I can't split though. I can't pick one or the other. So
you can do both.
Yeah, Demolition and the Road Warriors are number 3 for sure. Like this, all 4 or 5 of them is the tag team. Number 2 got to be the New Day, and number 1, Heart Foundation. Definitely the Heart Foundation, and it took a lot not to throw Chopper City in there. Final Boss and Atiba, because man, we are my number 1 tag team, right? And there's 100 dope independent tag teams that I'm leaving out. My current favorite independent tag team is Blade Runners. Okay, those boys is doing good work out there in OVW. And shout out to the Tate Twins. I can't wait to beat y'all up. I owe them kids some elbows to the chest.
What advice would you give a person who wanted to pursue a career in professional wrestling or as a professional wrestler?
I would tell them to pay your money, find a school, find a dope school, not just find a school, find a dope school. Find you an Al Snow Wrestling Academy or a Monster Factory, or where's Danny Cage at? Monster Factory, Danny Cage. So Nightmare Factory, where Cody's school and Dustin's school. Find a dope school, right? Pay your money, number 1. Then for your first year, and it sounds crazy coming from me, for your first year, be quiet and listen and learn. Do what I had to do, okay? I remember I had to be quiet for an hour one time, okay? Longest 45 seconds of my life. It was terrible. I had so much to say, okay? But what you do is you sit back and you learn. You learn from those that have done it before you. And at the end of that year, okay, you don't go out there cocky. You go out there ready to learn more. You go out there ready to get better, okay? Because your athleticism and your mouthpiece don't mean nothing if you ain't trying to put the work in and if you ain't willing to learn. And I'm not this good because I was born like this. I'm this good because I put that much work in. I should be at the gym right now. I'm going to the gym after this. Okay, we got to wrap this because I got to go hit the gym before they close. Go hit that executive workout. You feel me? But yeah, that's my advice. My advice is find you a good trainer. Don't act like you know everything because you don't know nothing. And you're going to find out the hard way that you could be 5 years in and still be considered a rookie in this wrestling game because there's people that are 13 years in the game, but they've only wrestled once a month, every month. That's 12 matches a year. Final Boss Bruce Wayans does that in 2 weeks. I'll do 12 matches in 2 weeks, easy, because I wrestle Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I put the work in and I put the miles in and I do everything I can get my hands on just to get better. I take on all comers. You can be better than me. You can be worse than me. It don't matter. I'm going to learn something while I'm in there. Then I'm going to go home and I'm going to study it. So if you want to do this, you don't get to train for a week and then go out on your own and say you're a professional wrestler. You're not. You got to train for months. Okay? You got to wrestle for years. You got to make some money. You got to make some coin in this business, and then you can call yourself a professional. Then you can get you some slam buddies. Then you can start making you some slam money.
Yeah. So let's do 2 more questions. One from each of you, and then we'll let the gentleman get to the gym so he can do his workout. So 1 more question each.
In your opinion, who is a better wrestler turned actor? The Rock, John Cena, Batista, The Miz, Randy Orton, Goldberg?
Well, The Rock's number one. The Rock's definitely number one. There's a terrible movie called Southland Tales. Go watch it. It's horrible. It's a horrible movie, but you should check it out. Okay, it's got an all-star cast and The Rock's in it. It's one of his first movies. It's great stuff. But The Rock's number one just because he's got that range, man. He can do it all. Definitely number 2 is John Cena because I'm in the middle of watching Peacemaker right now, and it is fantastic. Okay. And Batista's up there too. Batista ain't doing bad, but you left out the OG, man. You left out Rowdy Piper, man. You left out the man who said, "I am here to kick ass and chew bubble gum, and I'm fresh out of bubble gum."
I love that movie, by the way. So what is one story about your wrestling career that no one knows and says what the F when they hear it?
They're gonna laugh when they hear it. All right. All right. So oh man. All right, thanks, Nate. Thanks, Nathan. I remember that. See, I know you in the chair, you ain't going nowhere. So I remember that when I come to Seattle. We're gonna laugh about this question when I come see you personally. Anyway, so most people don't know this, right? After the Anaya fire, myself and Porter Blake, we won the Rocky Mountain Pro Tag Team Championships. So we were called what was called the Triumphant, and it was me, Severino Corrente, Porter Blake, and Simone Lockhart from Australia. Shout out to Simi, man. I need to somebody tag her on this. Tell her to come back to Bossy, baby. I miss you. Anyway, the Triumphant was the most dominant faction in Rocky Mountain Pro history, hands down, because Simone was the Lockettes champion, Corrente was the Charge champion, and we were the tag champions. And so our first night as champions, okay, we get into the ring. There's Severino in the middle of the ring. There's Porter Blake up on this turnbuckle. There's Simone Lockhart standing next to Corrente with the Lockettes championship. And then over here is the final boss, Bruce Wayans, who's climbing up to the second rope to hoist this title up, and everybody else is holding their belts up in the air. And I dropped my belt all the way down to the floor. And I look up, and everybody's head, one at a time, all looks over at me. And I'm down on the ground picking up my championship. And I'm crawling back up to the ropes to try to celebrate with my faction. And by that time, they've all put their belts down, and they just look at me and say, just get down from there, get over here and start the match. And it was not my claim to fame, but it was one of the more entertaining days as a professional wrestler. The only other thing I could think of that was funnier than that was to win those tag championships, we beat up Curtis Cole and Mercury Yaden in a table match, but it was an elimination table match where I ended up falling through the table off of the apron, which was terrible. But I remember Curtis Cole he slapped this hand to get it off the ropes, and he slapped this hand to get it off the ropes, but I kept holding on to the ropes, and then he poked me in the eyes, and I fell through the table just like this. Ah! It hurt like a mother, but we won. And I specifically remember falling asleep in the broken table during the rest of that match. And I woke up when I heard the bell ring. So what was that noise? Did we win? My team win? All right. Victory.
Okay, well, with that, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate your time. Nathan, go ahead and take us out and close the interview.
Well, we want to again thank you very much. Enjoy your executive workout.
Oh, yeah.
And is there anything really quick you wanted to promote before you head for that workout?
Oh, yeah. We got to do it all. I got to give you guys a promo before I leave. So recording live is the final boss, Bruce Wayans from In the Chair podcast. Shout out to Slam Buddies. Get you one of these Slam Buddies from the final boss, all right? It's Bruce Wayans on Facebook. It's Bruce Wayans on Instagram. It's Wayans Bruce on Twitter, because Twitter does things backwards, all right? This is the Second Rope Superstar, a.k.a. El Elbow Dropper. And I am live from the Chair podcast. Get you one of these Slam Buddies, baby. Oh, and I have a match against Ryzen this Friday. And watch Rocky Mountain Pro Ignition, the Thursday Night Thriller this Thursday, live on YouTube, Rocky Mountain Pro, ... Final Boss Bruce Wayans.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.
Thank you for your time. Good night, guys.